Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Welcome to our online teaching academy, Ekalaiva, and I welcome you all for the biology class. This is class 11, biology. Already we are in the unit human physiology. In human physiology, we have completed different things like when you eat, the food get digested. Okay, we saw about the digestive system. Then respiration, the food get oxidized. Okay, you get energy. Then now there is a system which controls and coordinate, works all over, all together, every day, every second in your system. So what is that system? Without that system, nothing is possible. That system is nothing but control and coordination. Actually, in control and coordination, there are two control and coordination. One is neural control and coordination, another one, chemical control and coordination. First, we are going to talk about the neural control and coordination. So, when I say neural control and coordination, which is a major part in that, this whole system, when you say digestive system, the whole system you say. The major thing, stomach, okay, helps in digestion, like that you say. When I say neural, okay, or nervous system, the major functional unit, you will talk about this part. This part is nothing but the brain, okay. Even that we are going to explore more. So, we'll start. First, let us see what are the characteristic features of the nervous system. The nervous system comprises of tissues, okay, right? It's a nervous tissue, and it also has cells called neuron. So, characteristics of nervous system, it is made up of numerous nerve cells, otherwise called as neuron. It is excitable and it carries the stimulus also. Okay, this neuron structure later we are going to discuss in detail how it is going to carry the impulse. When you touch something hot, immediately withdraw your hand. How is it possible within a fraction of a second? Okay, when someone comes, okay, something sharp object, if they are going to bring closer to your eyes, immediately you will close your eyes. How it happens within a fraction of a second? All this because of this impulse propagation and generation. Okay, that we will see later. Then conductivity, as I said, okay, you touch only with the finger, but immediately here you are getting the reaction, right? So you withdraw your finger. So conductivity of the impulse, that we are going to check. Then transmission of the signals. Actually, if you take neuron, it requires some substance, chemical substance, and that substance you call it as neurotransmitter substance. So the major organ here is the brain and nervous system. When you say a nervous system, the major organ brain, and if you travel deep inside the brain, you can see small, okay, slender like, thread like a long structure cell called as neuron. And this neuron, many in number, okay, and what is the function of that neuron and what are the different cells present in the brain? We know only about neuron. There is one other cell also. What is that cell? That we are going to see. So first we'll take about the tissue. We know the organ, brain. Okay, inside the brain what it is made up of? Nervous tissue. Nervous tissue is nothing but simple, very simple. What is tissue? Tissue is nothing but group of cells we call it as. So here cells, which cell is seen in the nervous tissue? Neuron. Okay. So nervous tissue is one of the four main tissue type. It is composed of neuron. I told you already there is one other cell also, and that cell gives another function that we are going to see. It is nothing but glial cells. So one neuron, then glial cells, two types of cells. This neuron we read from lower class. We have some basic thing. Okay, we know something basic about the neuron. Next, glial cell. What is this glial cell? What is this role? Okay, that we are going to see. So you see the glial cell structure. There are different types of glial cells depending upon their function. You can see number one, Schwann cells. Okay, it is a type of glial cell. This Schwann cell, which is seen in the axon, okay, base of the axon, and from this they secrete the myelin sheet. Okay, and that is why most of the neurons are myelinated neuron. So I'll repeat again. There is a cell called Schwann cell. It's very important 1-mark question. So listen. there is a cell called Schwann cells. From the Schwann cells, there is a secretion, and that makes the myelin sheet for the neuron. That is why most of the neurons are myelinated neuron. Then next you can take oligodendrocyte, which is giving support. You can see here. Then microglial cells. All these are all like support cells. Only in the structural you can see the variation. Astrocyte, ependymal. So totally we have 5 different types of glial cells. Okay. The glial cell, otherwise called as glia or glial cells, it is a non-neural cells, and where it is present, central nervous system. They do not produce any electrical impulse. It is another important function. They do not produce. The function is for the support. And we saw one more function also. They produce a secretion that helps in the formation of the myelin sheath, right? Myelin sheath, and provides support. So these are all the 2 functions. Okay. Structure of a typical neuron. If you take a neuron, okay, imagine the neuron structure. Okay, I'll just compare with my hand. Okay, here you can see this is the head of the neuron and this is the tail of the neuron. Okay, the head of the neuron, you can see a finger-like projections here. Okay, actually you call this as dendrites. So whenever you want to read, just keep your hand like this and then compare and read. These are my dendrites and this is the cell body. The cell body has a center placed nucleus, and one of the dendrite is long, and that you call it as axon. That will end into a terminal, axon end terminal, or the knob you call it as. Now we'll look here. So this is the dendrite, okay, which is a long, okay, like finger-like projections you can say here, and nucleus is present in middle, and this part you call it as cyton, otherwise called a cell body. It has a small granules. We call it as Nissl granules. Okay, and a long dendrite, okay, that you call it as axon. That is covered by a sheet, and that sheet you call it as myelin sheet, or you call it as myelinated neuron. And this is acting as an insulator. It will not allow the impulse, okay, it's acting like an insulator. And it ends into an axon terminal or nerve ending, otherwise you call it as nerve ending or the knob, okay, knob. So this is the structure of a typical neuron. And you can see one more thing, this node where there is no myelin sheath, that you call it as node of Ranvier. Okay, this node of Ranvier, Nissl granules, very important 1-mark questions. Okay, so we'll see the structure still more here. So you can see node of Ranvier, Schwann cells. Where are the Schwann cells? The Schwann cells will be here. Okay, from there only the myelin sheath will be secreted. Already we saw the Schwann cells role in glial cells, right? So this is the structure of a typical neuron. We'll have a mind map here, okay, totally. What is nervous system? What are the different types of nervous system? We know nervous system, it comprises of nerves and then the major organ, brain, etc. The nervous system can be categorized into 2 types. One is CNS, central nervous system, another one PNS, peripheral nervous system. It comprises central, actually this syllabus, 11th syllabus, we are going to explore more in CNS. Okay, it has brain and spinal cord. Whereas here you can see further division, autonomic nervous system, somatic nervous system. And this autonomous nervous system further classified into sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Somatic nervous system again further classified into afferent and efferent. Afferent which has sensory part, efferent which has motor part. Okay, and we'll come to this part, CNS, central nervous system, brain. This brain interprets, brain's function is huge, we cannot say in one box. Okay, will explore that later. Totally the brain function is what? It is going to conduct the impulse. The nerve will conduct the impulse, it carries the message, it will respond actually, right? So it interprets, stores information, sends order, various functions, okay, voluntary and involuntary also. Spinal cord, if you take it, it's a pathway connecting the brain and the peripheral nervous system. Now, we'll start with the major organ, brain. Okay, then we will talk about the other parts. Major organ, brain in central nervous system. So, where is the brain location? Okay, brain you can see here, it is located in this particular part. Which part you call it as? In the head part. Okay. So, this brain, if you take it, what are the other coverings? We know skin is a covering, and then there is a skull, okay, case will be there, cranium will be there, and then there are 3 other coverings, okay, that covering you call it as meninges. So, we will see, we will locate where the meninges is, right. So, you can see that is the skin, okay, the next part will be the bone, okay, the case, and then next part the 3 layers you can see. So, what are the 3 layers here? The 3 layers. Pia matter from inside will come, pia matter, arachnoid matter and dura matter. Okay, you can observe here. Arachnoid matter, dura matter. Pad, just keep in mind like this pad so that you will not forget. Okay, and you are talking from here, okay, from inside. So, remember the word pad so that you can write it very clearly. Pia matter, arachnoid matter, dura matter. Okay, between this arachnoid and dura matter, there is a thing called subarachnoid matter. In that place only you can see cerebrospinal fluid, CSF. It is acting as a shock absorber. Okay, you can observe once. And these 3 layers only you call it as meninges. Once again we will repeat, pia matter, dura matter, arachnoid matter. How to remember? In the word like pad, okay, P-A-D, right? And you can see the brain structure, okay, and here I am going to categorize the parts of the brain. In the previous slide we saw the mind map about the nervous system, okay, we have categorized the nervous system central and peripheral. Now in the brain, okay, what are the different parts, different region, okay, usually we will say forebrain, midbrain, hindbrain, right, the same thing. So, the parts of the brain, forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain, okay. Prosencephalon, okay, which is nothing but forebrain, mesencephalon, rhombencephalon. See, I am writing only part of the word, right. So, what is the other part? You have to read like this, encephalon. Okay, there are 3 encephalon. Encephalon is nothing but brain. 3 encephalon, that is nothing but pro, meso, rhomben. Okay, prosencephalon, mesencephalon and rhombencephalon. Right. The other terms for forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. In forebrain, what are the different regions? Thalamus, hypothalamus. There is one more thing called epithalamus. Okay, epi, outside. Okay. So, 3 regions we can say, this is epithalamus, thalamus, hypothalamus, okay, together diencephalon, okay. Then limbic system, actually it is new for you in 11th standard, a limbic system, hippocampus and then amygdalon and septum, okay, these 2 role only we are going to see in detail. Then cerebrum. Cerebrum, which is the largest part of the brain, you can see the hemisphere. Actually, the brain part we are dividing into 2 hemispheres, a left hemisphere and the right hemisphere, right? And here the lobes, they are given the lobes, the different lobes. 1, 2, 3 and 4 lobes are there. Okay, I will tell you the lobes, how to keep in mind. So, here the category of the cerebrum. Then midbrain, there is no much variations, okay, there is no much division also. Hindbrain, medulla, pons and cerebellum. So, first we are going to talk about the forebrain in detail. Structure of the forebrain, the structure. First, from outside we started and we completed, okay. First, what it is? Skin. the skin covers. Next to the skin will be the case, okay, cranium, and next to that the 3 meninges. And next, if you see, there are more infoldings, okay, infoldings and depressions are there in the brain, and that you call it as gyri and sulci, okay. Gyri and sulci, the depressions and infoldings. The brain is not a simple, flat or smooth structure. They have more infoldings and depression. That you call it as gyri and sulci. And this brain, if you see, it has a partly divided. You can see here very well, partly divided but not totally divided. Partly divided but not totally divided. Then what happened? What is there something between connecting those two parts? That we are going to see. So here left side and right side. Okay, just imagine. So this is your brain. So then this brain, you can see the left and the right side. Okay, something connected here. So what is this connection? This connection only holding this part, and that you call it as corpus callosum, right? And here if you see, when I raise my right hand, my other part of the brain is supporting. Which part? It is left brain. Okay, the same way the other way. So there is a vice versa connection. That also we are going to discuss, right? And here, depressions. I said, no, some depressions are going very deep, and that you call it as sulcus. Okay. So central sulcus, one is there. Lateral fissures, one will be there. Transverse fissures, one will be there. Because of that, only the forebrain are having lobes, the different lobes. 4 lobes will be there. Okay, you can touch and remember like this. This is the frontal lobe. Okay, parietal lobe. Temporal, okay, this region, that's a temple you call it as this region. Temporal, occipital at the back. I'll repeat, 4 lobes we have because of the deep depression, and that depression you call it as fissure. So this is frontal, parietal, temporal and occipital, 4 lobes, right? And there is a very long fissure. I told you, the brain is divided into part but not totally apart. It is nothing but the longitudinal fissure it is. And this makes the right side and left side. Always think in anatomical position. This is your left and the other one will be the right. Okay, so this is the left brain and this is the right brain. So next class, we'll see about the lobes in detail. What is the lobe and what are the different types of lobe and the function. To receive our online lessons, please press the subscribe button and you will receive the latest updates. Thank you.